So in graphing this piecewise function, we can see that the first piece has a domain restriction of from -3 to 0. So if -3 to 0 is right in there, and we know that this graph is y equals 2x plus 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it goes up 1 and over 1, up 1 and over, or sorry, up 2 and over 1, slope is 2. We can go down 2 and to the left 1, down 2 and to the left 1, and then finally we want to get to the end of the interval here. And when we get to the end of the interval, basically we're only drawing this piece between the x values of -3 and 0. Now be careful here, we're going to include -3, but we're not going to include 0. So I want to leave a little space there for my open circle. So we have a closed circle at the end because of the x is greater than or equal to -3. But we have an open circle at the end of that graph, at the end of that piece, because x is less than or equal to 0, or less than 0 there. So it's less than 0, open circle, greater than or equal to, and closed circle. The y value for the second piece is -3, and that's when x is equal to 0. So when x is equal to 0, we have a y value of -3. That's just a dot. And then the third piece would be where x is greater than 0. So x is greater than 0 is everything over there to the right. And we have a graph of y equals -5x, and -5x has a slope of -5, y-intercept of 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and over 1. So negative down 5 and over 1. And so that piece of the piecewise function is when x is greater than 0. So we want to make sure we include an open circle right there at 0, 0. And the line goes down like that for x is greater than 0, and then we have an open circle there. Well, the domain is all real numbers. So if we look at this, the domain is all real numbers between -3, and then you might think, well, we're skipping 0, but we actually have an output when the input is 0. So 0 is not excluded from the domain. In fact, the values of x keep going to the right, greater than 0. So we have all values of x that are less than between -3 and 0, and greater than 0. So basically the domain is all real numbers greater than or equal to -3. Looking at the range of the function, we can see we're using all the y values from -infinity all the way up and up and up until we get to 5, but we're not including 5 as well. Is this function continuous? No, it's not continuous, because you're jumping around. You can't just draw the graph without lifting your pencil. And that's it for number 34.